Big month, Capricorn. We're here to do your zodiac sign for the month of June. And yes, we cover this month by month. If you do want to join our YouTube membership, we have this on pre-release a week ahead of the crowd. So be ready, stay ready. Now, how this update is going to be formatted, first and foremost, is going to be the must-know 5 things astrologically and the moon phases, how it's going to directly impact you. And yes, I do cover this energy both astrologically and psychically. I am a psychic medium and I cover astrology. So you get the best of both worlds. We're then going to cover your romance house for those of you single and couple and any tips I have, what things are going to play out, how to navigate. Career, business, and or if you're looking at study, we're going to cover that, wealth, wellness, and then summing it up, any tips I have for your zodiac sign, really to tackle the energy of this month. So without further ado, let's have a quick look at up and coming 5 things in the transits that are coming. Number 1, Saturn will be moving retrograde. That is happening on the 17th of June in the house of Pisces. Pluto will be moving back into Capricorn on the 11th of June, 2023. So that directly is going to be impacting you. And you could be second guessing yourself, but we're going to give you tips for that. Neptune also will be joining Saturn in the house of Pisces, moving retrograde from the 30th of June. Venus will be moving into the house of Leo, June 5th. Very heart-centered, very passionate, very bold. And also, the last but not least is we will be feeling that vibration for a while in the house of Venus because Venus will retrograde the following month. So be ready for that. It'll be sitting there for a while and those blasts from the past metaphorically will be coming back. So how do these 5 areas affect your zodiac sign? We're also, as mentioned, going to mention the 2 moon phases and how that will link to your zodiac sign and how to prepare for that. Number 1, Saturn is very your energy. You personally are going to be feeling pressure points, but you also are going to be able to have a point in time that you can reflect upon how to change these things. These can be routines, roles, restrictions, age, the tried and true, the restrictions that you feel in your life or the commitments that you're giving to get to the level you need to get to, especially because Neptune can relate to dreams. And we're going to have opportunities really with both Neptune and Saturn in Pisces to review those areas, correct those areas to get ourselves to where we need to be. For you, this does connect to your 3rd house. This can be anything to do with cars, communication, contracts, partnerships. It also is personal. It's how you think. It's how you act, how you deal with your routine. I would also say diet would come under this because it is the 3rd house, which can be communication, eating. You also could have a subject to do with a car coming up, technology, and as I said, paperwork. Now, as Pluto moves retrograde, this could be you in a personal role. This could be you in your career. This could be you with your identity. It could feel like, an identity crisis, but it's something old that's going to come back to the surface. This could be a good thing. This could be a revelation you find inside of yourself and a breakthrough spiritually. You also could feel a little bit run down. You could be looking at yourself. Now, 1st house can be image, presentation, positions, how you personally feel. So it was sitting there for 20 years. Okay, it's doing its ingress into Aquarius. Currently, it's in Aquarius as we move into June. By the 11th, it's moving back into Capricorn. It can feel like a sudden shock. It's like, oh, okay, we're dealing with a different subject now. Aquarius for you is linking to your 2nd house of income and resources. You could go back to the table and say, okay, is the buck worth the grind? Or is how I'm addressing my wellness, my eating, my patterns, my stress working? Am I emotionally dealing with this in an effective manner? Am I having enough confidence to say, no, this is what I'm wanting? But you're going to be looking at those 2 areas with Pluto ingressing back. But there could be some unfinished business. You also could have some brand new breakthroughs. So it doesn't have to be bad, but if there was pressure points there, you could be feeling that and it can redirect you, especially with Neptune in the mix relating to contracts, eating, communication. Don't be surprised if that comes back onto the table. Now, last month we did have some very heavy hitting energy. And you would be forgiven if you said, gosh, the last 2 months have been pretty crappy. And that is because we did have the eclipse cycles. It is because we had large revelations of changes that were necessary. We were definitely facing our shadows and we were feeling very unstable. So we still very well could be recovering after all of that. We were feeling quite fatigued at the end of May. Some of you still can be moving into the month in that fashion. And I definitely feel your romance house is doing some shifts because of the transit of Taurus, but you could have some changes to do with your body, changes to do with children, marriages, contracts, looking at relationships and looking at your style of relating. Your spiritual beliefs also are going to be expanding, but you do have some creativity that is coming through and you're going to have an ability to address that. Now, Venus for you will link to your 8th house, which we will mention this inside your romance house, but there could be some, for those of you in a relationship, you could be looking at what you can depend on. For those of you not in a relationship, the same thing applies. It can be intimate wounds that come up, confidence within our body, a desire to attract a suitor that is, independent, but also able to give to you. If you're currently in a relationship, there can be something to do with tax, debt, legacies, inheritances, changes in their income stream, changes in their finances. And you are going to be attracting in very passionate individuals. You are going to allure a very mysterious demeanor. But when we have Venus going retrograde, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the tip I would give before we go into how to deal with these energies is if you are meeting somebody new during this month, for those of you that are single or those of you that are going into that second guessing game, I would say move through the eye of the storm because you're going to reevaluate and investigate and experiment. So don't have attachment like you're signing your life away. Go into the circumstance with a neutrality of let's see how this goes. And I think that's going to be more fun and more coherent to you than going in my angel sphere to tread, because what we can have is if you're meeting a new individual, they can be still dealing and wrapping up some things of the past. If this is a past tense person, it probably bodes better. These are your Venus warning tips for as it goes retrograde. Now, how do we deal with the other ones? Number one, when Saturn goes retrograde, you can be looking at, okay, how am I handling my ship? What is restricting me? What's in my way? What is the tried and true that I've done? What is my physical routine? Bones and teeth can come up relating to Saturn. So looking after your teeth, looking after your bones, looking at how you're coping with stress levels, looking at systems. That is one way we can go inside and review it and rework these dynamics. Neptune also can be emotional energy. How do I deal with my stress levels? How do I deal with my dreams? What effort am I putting in towards it? Do I feel disillusioned? It does link to your 3rd house of your thoughts, your actions, your words. Sometimes it can be our speech, but it could be our daily routine. It could be our physical health, diet, nutrition, eating. Emotional eating is possible. Using pacifiers. Psychic attacks also are possible during this. So great time to clear the home. Great time to use crystals. You can use tourmaline. If you're in an anxious energy and you're trying to purge bad habits, using citrine can really support you in addressing those. I definitely know for my partner years ago, he would laugh. I would provide him with crystals that I felt that would support him. And effectively, it really did. I gave him some citrine and he was able to purge some habits and support his aura through an emotional change he was going through. And it really did help, which I use the same crystals. Now, Pluto also can be outdated things. I always call it, Pluto can deal with the taboo subjects. It's a hidden realm. It's intimate energy. It can be intimate wounds. It can be the white ants in the wall. And we're saying, no, it's okay. The house will stay up if we don't deal with them. And it's like, well, effectively, we have to eradicate them. There's something that's not working in that for us. And because it is personal to you, it's 1st house, you could feel like, oh crap, here we go again. We're back to this one situation here. just be in awareness of it. If there's something you want to change, especially because Venus will be in the house of Leo, it can be image changes. It can be, cutting your hair. Anything of a permanent nature, if you do it next month, I would delay that for a couple of months. I would do the investigatory experimentation. So what could that look like? It could be, well, I want to go from black hair to red hair. Use a semi-permanent. Use something that you can just spray and you can wash out, and just, really play with that notion of beauty. Play with the notion of that. And don't set yourself into something that you're not committed to. Really look at it and say, is this for me? Do I have to say yes right now? Or can I go into something and change my mind after 100%? But your image is going to change. Your position in your career could change. But you're definitely rechecking in with yourself, and you can be looking at those dynamics. So I've given you the tips for Venus. If you are meeting somebody new, go through it neutrally, because yes, those blasts from the past can come back, and we want to be in awareness that everything is serving its purpose. And if it means that person's either just communicating or getting closure or up in the head, not to personalize it, and just to go and really enjoy the moment, and then the clarity will come as it goes direct. That's not to say that we won't have transitions with love. We'll talk about that at a moment. Now into the moonology, and then we'll get into your romance house. So we have the first full moon happening on the 4th of June, 2023 in the house of Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius can link to travel, gurus, education, siblings, spirituality, religion, trade, boats, aircrafts, advertising. We can have those subject matters coming up in the media. This can be, and a full moon is a heightened experience. It can be aggressive. It can be. It's a little bit like the tides in the oceans, where we directly are linked to. It's where the collective consciousness goes. It's the value systems. You definitely can be attracted in the first 2 weeks to spice. So you will want, especially with Jupiter and Taurus and the full moon in Sagittarius, you personally can feel like you're wanting the finer things in life, something with flavor, something with depth of feel, something that's really tickling your fancy, something that's more Venusian in energy. That is one way it can play out. And it could have been too much of a good thing, and you're thinking, okay, now I've got to wrap this up. That was really great. How do I get this under control again? And how do I go into moderation? You also could be thinking about wanting to have a holiday, and some of you could be looking at travel and doing things that are more playful and fun and adventurous, or, joining a gym and, shaking it up a bit and doing something different. For you, Sagittarius links to your 12th house. There could be nervousness towards brand new beginnings, but there could be a wrap up of an old situation and a brand new beginning. This could be your position in life. And again, it can be something coming back from the past. But I also feel some sense of psychology is being reviewed, faith in yourself, faith in the future. So emotionally, loving yourself and really saying it's okay for me to be worried. It's okay for me to tap into my dreams. And you could actually have lady luck here, especially surrounding love and family. This could be a very psychic time for you. And you also could get some channeled messages from loved ones on the other side. Now, the new moon in Gemini is happening on the 18th of June, 2023. Gemini can be Mercury. It's the social energy. It's going to be very social, especially with Venus and Leo in the mix. Don't be surprised if you're busy, busy, busy. This does link to your 6th house. If you feel you need checkups or anything to that degree, I would highly recommend getting that done. You're going to be needing to be very structured, okay? So you could be getting into a systematic order. You may be taking more accountability for your wellness and your health, especially after Mercury retrograde, if anything was shown to you or off kilter. 6th house can be a brand new pet. It could be a new pet, a new routine. It could be a position you're taking that it's requiring your logic, your intellect, your structure. And it could be that you are pulled into direction. So this also could be a time where, friends are really wanting to see you and you're going, crap, I've got so much going on at home. How can I deal with that? And I do particularly feel there may be a lot happening around home this month for you. So let's take a look at your romance house. And what I see coming through for your star sign, both singles and couples. Okay. Oh, heck. Okay. Now, very high activity there was for you last month. Probably the conflict was really Mercury retrograde, but there could have been a lot of conversation pieces, a lot of thoughts about love, be it you were single or couple. I do particularly feel you could be also having new things happening this month. However, in the area of love, there's a very distinct possibility that those of you that are single could really, really have opportunities to meet somebody that's very romantic, very, this could be at gyms, this could be in social crowds, this could be through your own children, through school, etc. Creativity, social settings, barbecues, there are lady luck there. I also feel there's a potential for marriage for those of you that are open to that, but this also could be engagements moving to the next level. Those of you that did go through separations, which is funny because you're the first zodiac sign I've actually mentioned this to, and I should have mentioned it, in all the zodiacs really. This could be a transitional feel, and sometimes when we're in that in-between world, it feels as though it's doomed, right? It's like, okay, what to from here? I'm not really single, I'm not really a couple, I'm in the in-between world. You still do have luck there, dolls. Okay, so don't think this is permanent. This could be where you're wrapping things up. Money can be coming back to you. You can be going in a brand new direction. But there's also, we do have some lady luck here on your side. And what you really are going to be attracting is, an individual that's very, very stable. You do have those lucky stars there for you psychically. Those of you in a relationship, I do think there are some circumstances happening around your romantic interest, and they're going to be reworked over the next 3 months. Now, it's not to say that it starts now, okay? So this could be transitions in their career. This could be changes to do with their money. This could be the subjects in their family that are shifting. It could be inheritances, legacies, and tax. I also see the intimacy between the both of you actually being able to pick up in this instant, and I do feel that can be quite a positive thing. What else can I see? I do feel there could be a sudden radical breakthrough. I also feel some secrets coming out of the woodwork, so be open to it. Be open to the new chapters. Try to trust the process, but definitely these blasts from the past can start cropping up. Now, how I do see your career transitioning is, for some of you, you could get a new position. Some of you could return to an old position. I do feel really reading the contracts, looking at the fine details. I feel you're going to be going into this meditation of where you want to go, where you see your life going. Some of you could be investigating home-based businesses. If you are currently doing such, the work that you're doing on it continue. Advertising also can be quite beneficial. And I also feel those of you that are wanting to upskill, you could be looking at that. But you may need to spiritually go into your value system. I think thinking outside the box. I also do feel if you're needing counseling, coaching, this would be a really great time to be dealing with that. Taking the bull by the horns, getting grounded, doing something and having a break. You're trying to find some sense of balance, but I still do feel there is a great deal of changes happening with, what you feel you're worth, what you feel you can do. And I definitely feel from a creative point of view, be it you're making videos or doing art or doing side hustles or being creative at work and teaching individuals, it does appear to be quite positive for you. Your money also is going to start moving on the up and up. Also, this will come through in your attitudes of how you address your wealth sector. In the mix of things. Now, I do feel you did start taking steps in this area and you were getting inklings from the universe over the last 2 months. This also is going to take a back burner because now you're going to look at your physical positions in careers or how you're dealing with your wealth creation and attraction and where you see that trajectory going. So again, it could be something to do with paperwork. It may be to do with tying up loose ends. Some of you also could be looking at vehicles, etc. But I definitely feel your day-to-day budget could be shifting. And there is this opportunity where through your creativity, you're going to get more. You could be very giving towards your loved ones. You could be very social, catering, wanting to go into a catering business for some of you. But this also feels very, how could you put it? Expenses can be high when it comes to your luxuries, so try to be careful for that. You also could have great innovative ideas in a creative sense that also can generate an income. A romantic partner also can have some wealth coming in, and lady luck. This can also be lotteries. As to your wellness, taking things personal is very possible. Using crystals to protect yourself. You can use tourmaline if you I would say as Neptune goes retrograde, lay off amethyst. You can use amethyst in the interim, but make sure to clear it with salt water or a smudge stick or both. Have your crystals surrounding your home at this point. So this can be putting tourmaline around or onyx as a crystal grids, etc. Smudging your home, wearing a crystal on you, especially because Pluto is moving back into your zodiac sign. Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, and Saturn and Pisces is moving retrograde. Be careful of using vices to deal with your stress. This can be food, beverages, to extremes. Try to get the nervousness down. You can use guided meditation, earth hurts, taking your shoes off and connecting to earth, and just really being accepting of yourself, of who you are. That self-love and self-heart is going to be pretty key this month. Anything of feminine nature that you're needing to address, be it it's okay, you're feeling off and you feel and again, I can't advise you medically. I can give you ideals of how situations can play out. And you in your own personal life are going to know what is and what isn't happening. So if you feel anything in relationship to your feminine organs needs check and get it checked. Some of you also can be very fertile, okay? There is opportunities to fall pregnant, and that's really going to be here for a whole year. So I would be very careful if that's something you're not ready for. There also will be situations with Jupiter in your 5th house where you could overindulge. So try to get into a routine. Don't never treat yourself. We have to treat ourselves, but try and find a healthy way of dealing with that where we can have the finer things in life like spice and all things nice, but also it not hitting us. Jupiter expands things. I'm just saying. So pre-warned, forearmed. Tips of the month. Big thing is the moon in Sagittarius is transiting over your 12th house. Use crystals. Drink more fluids. You can get quite dehydrated. Be careful of pacifiers and extremes. Take a day either side, and this can be not, making radical decisions, getting triggered, projecting belief systems. Good time to be still. Do the meditation after if possible. I would do it prior and after. If you can avoid it and to just go through the vibe of the feelings, great. If you are worried, say to yourself, Yildiz Readings did tell me this. This emotion is here. Acknowledge the fact it's there. Don't ignore it and try to know that it is going to pass, but acknowledge what those things are and be gentle to yourself. This also can usher in a brand new opportunity. 12th house can be dreams coming true. So, and it also can be our belief systems of nothing ever good is going to happen. And that's not true. It is. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly in life with all of us, whatever we are. Be it we are millionaires or be it we are poor. We will have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Love and light. I have lots of excitement for your zodiac sign. Huge possibilities where you could be taking on a more superior role. Have confidence in yourself. Love is set to change and evolve. Definitely things can be very spicy and all things nice. I wish you the best and I hope to see you next month. Take care, beautifuls.